Okay, here we are with the second draft for our Full Force series. Now, I should take Carbonize or Phantom Monster. We're trying to still do like Grixis spells, either blue, red Burning Vengeance, or go more blue black and take some more reanimation type stuff. But I'm not made of money, and that is a Wasteland. I mean, Wasteland obviously can punish all those 5-color decks, right? It's totally reasonable pick. It goes in every deck. It's colorless. It's so simple. It's a land. Like, no matter what colors we go into, Wasteland's playable. Obviously the pick. Have to take it. Best card possible. Listen, I will pass a lot of money cards in Full Force drafting. I passed Sorin in the ED8 in the Shadows over Innistrad drafts, but passing Wasteland's not really something I can do here. These drafts are $25 a piece, and that's like $35, $40. I just have to take it. I would love to have the money to not, but it's not really an option. Alright, so we got Firebolt here now. Keldon Champion's really insane if you go aggressive, but I think we'll just take Firebolt, stick to our plan. Firebolt's nice anyways. It's a very, very good card. It's arguably close to Keldon Champion, honestly. We now have Dragon Egg, Tragic Slip, Dismal Backwater. This is a very mediocre pack. If I were to play other colors, I might take... I don't even know what else I would take. I guess that I can just take Tragic Slip here, and we can kind of go Grixis. Tragic Slip is fine, and the card's good. There's a Mana War. So now we're in all 3 colors. Perfect, just where we want to be. Take everything. Jetting Blast Kite's surprisingly hard to deal with in this format. 6 mana 4/4 seems very medium, but it's just really hard to kill, and 4/4 is huge in this format. And everything in this pack, like it's like 2/2, 2/2, 2/3, 0/2, 2/1, 2/2, 1/1. And there's Sentinel Spider and Jetting Blast Kite, but there's not a lot of stuff that has 4 power or toughness. I think we're still okay with the Mana War though. I could see taking the Jetting Blast Kite. It's close. Now we have Memory Lapse. There's also Honden of Night's Reach or a Twisted Abomination that we can cycle and try and reanimate. I do like Memory Lapse, though. This is close. I should be able to get either one of them back later. They're both commons. I'll take the Twisted Abomination. This is just a better card to end the game with. Una's Grace and Faithless Looting. Let's take the Una's Grace. There's also the Tragic Slip number 2. I think I really want to be able to get a Burning Vengeance going. We need to open one or get past one pretty early. I don't think we're going to get any late. Occasionally gotten one. Faithless Looting and Una's Grace are pretty close in that style of deck. I guess Looting goes better in either one of the decks because it's good for discarding cards that you want to reanimate, and it's good for Burning Vengeance. So I'll take the Faithless Looting. We'll see what happens. Urborg Uprising is a draw 3. You get to draw 2 creature cards out of your graveyard, and then you get to draw an extra cards. That's not terrible. Coalition Honor Guard's still here, which is kind of scary. This card's insane. Also Shoreline Ranger. I think I'll just take Shoreline Ranger. Ooh, Phyrexian Rager. I like Phyrexian Rager a lot. Drawing extra cards is just something that I tend to like to do. If you've watched my streams or my videos for any amount of time, drawing extra cards is kind of something that I enjoy. This way, too, we've got a little bit of that same sub-theme that we had in the last one, which is just, like, creatures that basically get 2-for-1s when they start out. So, like, Mana War and Phyrexian Rager, they just get value when you play them. It's not a bad way to just play this draft, I think. Just get as many little value creatures as you possibly can. And now we're going to hope for next pack, either some Animate Deads, Extract from Darkness, or Burning Vengeance. Those are the cards that we're really looking for, so we can start building around whatever we find. There's Blood Artist. So Glacial Wall. I think I take Blood Artist here. It has the most upside. It's certainly possible for us to be in like a blue-black or like Grixis reanimation type list that actually sacrifices things and then keeps getting them back. I managed one time to get a white-black token reanimate list that had like a bunch of Victimizes and Blood Artist and Carrion Feeder and some Animate Deads, and just like constantly cycle through your deck with Gravediggers and stuff, and that was actually really powerful. So I can see taking Blood Artist. Take a Prowling Pangolin. Just a big dumb 6/5 idiot. Maybe not something that I want to main deck, but if I come across a deck that's doesn't have any of the tokens, then I'll play Prowling. Dragon Egg, sure. So we have some options. Honestly, what looks open is just like red-black sacrifice. We have Blood Artist and double Dragon Egg. If we could get Carrion Feeder, that would be a thing to do. But obviously, that's not the point of this. We are trying to force into the Reanimation or Burning Vengeance decks, so we're going to try and do that instead. I'm just saying, like, if this was a normal draft, then I might try and go that direction instead. Ooh, Factor Fiction is very powerful. Rorik's Bladewing is huge, but we're obviously taking Factor Fiction. If we're going to be a bunch of colors, Factor Fiction is a lot better, plus it works perfectly into, like, Flashback or Reanimate. Gravedigger wouldn't be bad, but it's no Factor Fiction. And Burning Vengeance. Ooh, do get Merfolk Looter. I can certainly handle that. If we're not going to get Burning Vengeance, I will always take Merfolk Looter. This is where you end up, though, when you don't really get, like, when you start going into this direction, but you don't end up with the Animate Dead spells, you don't end up with the Burning Vengeance type cards. You just kind of end up being, like, blue, black, red kind of control, I think. Not that that's necessarily bad, but you kind of end up more just kind of value control. Playing a fair bit of removal, Chain Lightnings and Tragic Slips and Firebolt and Eye Blight's Ending if you can get them. You get some like value creatures, Ragers, Mana War, Gravedigger, Factor Fiction. You just kind of go off that way. It's not bad, but it certainly could be better. So we've got Una's Grace for another Faithless Looting and a Gravedigger. At this point, we're looking a lot more blue-black, and it doesn't look like we're going to get a Burning Vengeance, so we're just not seeing the right cards for it. I think we just take Gravedigger here. It looks like we're kind of just Reanimation. I think the problem with Burning Vengeance is that everybody wants to be Burning Vengeance, because the deck, A, is extremely powerful when it's good. It's hard to get it when it's good, but when it is... Like, it's hard to get a good version of the deck, but when you do get it, it's really insane. And then, of course, the other thing that limits that is just the simple fact that playing Burning Vengeance is incredibly fun, so everybody wants to do it. This is a pack, though. Isochron Scepter has a lot of potential. We do have Tragic Slip, but that's not the best. We want a Counterspell or a Memory Lapse for sure. Probably multiples to actually play the Scepter. There is also Eye Blight's Ending that's just straight removal, or Bloodfell Caves to help us splash the red mana. So we definitely have options here. There are some good choices. This is really tough. I think we take Eye Blight's Ending. This just seems a little too risky when we have no real payoff cards for it yet. And Eye Blight's Ending is very strong, so I'll just take that. Now we've got, Phyrexian Ingester, Eye Blight's Ending, and a Bloodfell Caves. So another Eye Blight's Ending is good, but I think that we take Ingester. It just kills anything. It's a 2-for-1, and we can also grab, like, if we do manage to get, like, the Animate Dead type stuff, then Phyrexian Ingester is a great card to reanimate. Really, really good top end, so I think I'll just slam that. Now we have Desperate Ravings, Screeching Scob, Cephalid Sage. Cephalid Sage seems really bad. It's hard to get Threshold. It's harder than you think, anyways. A little bit easier when you have Desperate Ravings and Faithless Looting, but Red's looking more and more like a very light splash. Like, I'm probably not going to be playing Faithless Looting. I think we just take Scob, and that can kind of get a few things into our graveyard. Maybe we can use that with, like, an Extract or an Animate. Take an Una's Grace. Or Tragic Slip. Right now I have Tragic Slip, Firebolt, and Eye Blight's Ending. I can use another removal spell for sure. So take the Tragic Slip. And now Bloodfell Caves. I don't think that I need Glacial Wall, whereas I might still splash this Firebolt. And it's not totally inconceivable to think that we still get a Burning Vengeance. Dream Twist, I think, is actually just unplayable in this format. I haven't seen it be good yet. And that TK Gnomes is it's still a 3/3 for 3. I mean, yeah, you have to pay Echo on it. It's not amazing, but it's not super terrible. Take a Prowling Pangolin. So last pack, we really need an Extract from Darkness. I've gotten Una's Grace anyways. I would still probably play a Faithless Looting if we got, or a Faithless Looting, a Burning Vengeance if we got one. We do still have the Faithless Looting. We still have Firebolt. We now have Una's Grace. That's probably enough to still go in on it. Another Shoreline Ranger or another Screeching Scob. I guess they'll take a Scob just in case we have a really aggressive deck that we come up against. Blood Artist is looking less and less important, but we took it over nothing. It was just there as like a... If we manage to go really deep and get like a bunch of Victimizes and Sengir Autocrat and Carrion Feeder, then we could just go off with it, but it's looking like that's not happening. Double Control Magic. That's a thing. I mean, I'll take one. It's kind of funny that we had to pass another one. Sengir Autocrat would be okay. Phantom Monsters, okay. Yeah, everything else in this pack's pretty medium, but Control Magic is amazing. Always a 2-for-1. Steal something from your opponent. Another Firebolt here. There's also a Pilgrim's Eye to help with splashing. Even with the splash isn't bad. Torrent of Souls is good with Ingester. That is a reanimation spell. It's also not bad with like Twisted Abomination or Prowling Pangolin. It's certainly not a bad card. The card's actually totally insane though in like a red-black aggro deck. You can just deal 20 damage out of nowhere. It's Rally the Peasants, which everybody knows and really, really likes, but with like an extra creature attached to it. It's so good. Pilgrim's Eye, Firebolt, or Torrent. This is a tough pick. Torrent gets a lot better if we have red. And that means I kind of want Pilgrim's Eye. There's also Firebolt. This is just tough. This is a really tough pick. I think we just take the Pilgrim's Eye, actually. Makes all of this decisions a lot easier later on. Ooh, that is a balance. I kind of want to try that, but I don't think this is the deck for it. Could we actually use a balance somehow here? Balance would be an amazing card in a Honden deck, because it doesn't actually count enchantments as far as the balance goes. So everybody has to sacrifice lands, creatures, and artifacts, but they don't have to sacrifice their enchantments in the same way. Faithless Looting is fine. I can just take balance and see. Who knows? I'm not really excited by like Brainstorm or Faithless Looting. That is a lot of very good elves. More good white cards. No red, blue, or black cards at all. We can just hate out a Timberwatch Elf, I guess. There's a lot of things that are really bad here for us. Pacifism's not good. Actually, I guess Plague Witch. I might play a Plague Witch. I don't have one yet. Yeah, we'll take a Plague Witch. We need to take cards that we'll actually play. Warden of Evos Isle. Nausea. More elves, more red aggro cards. Sting Scourger is okay for us, but not amazing. Let's take this Warden. Ooh, Deep Analysis. There we go. And Silent Departure. Where were you earlier? All these cards are great for us. That's weird. I thought that we were getting cut really hard, and then all of a sudden, like, this pack has no really good cards in, like, white, green, or red, and it's got a lot of good blue cards. Well, two at least. Two very strong blue cards. Deep Analysis kind of goes everywhere. Another Prowling Pangolin I don't think I want. But there's really nothing else. I could hate somebody's Reckless Charge or Rugged Highlands. It might not be a bad idea to just take somebody's Rugged Highlands out so that they don't have the option to play it. It makes a lot of decks worse to just not have the fixing. It's probably the best card that you can hate if you're going to hate a card. I'll take a Tidal Wave. Just a way to kill some attackers. There's Wake Dancer, Aristocrat, or Autocrat, sorry. So Autocrat, Blood Artist, Carrion Feeder. That is a thing. We do have Gravedigger too. It's certainly possible. I'll take the Autocrat. I wonder if we can do anything with that. Wow, Torrent of Souls Wield. Nice. I'm very happy about that. I can't believe Torrent of Souls came back. I think that people just don't understand how good that card is. If you're taking cards like Rally the Peasants, Torrent of Souls is up there. And granted, it's better if you have black mana to pay for it, but if you have any like Bloodfell Caves or something, it's probably worth just playing like a Bloodfell Caves and a Scoured Barrens in like your red-white deck and playing Torrent of Souls. If you're gonna try and play Rally the Peasants, it's almost certainly worth the Torrent. Torrent is just silly when it goes off. Alright, so we need to cut a bunch of cards here. We got some good ones right at the end. And I think that we kind of shifted things back to being able to play like the Autocrats and Carrion Feeder kind of strategy. Nobody needs a flyer. So we need to cut out probably some Screeching Scobs. The card's pretty terrible. We didn't see any of the Extract from Darkness, so that we can really get a bunch of recursion going, and no Animate Deads. Take out Tidal Wave. I don't really like Tidal Wave. And then we need to take one more card out. So we have the Feeder, we have Autocrat, and Blood Artist. What else do we not want? I could take out Glacial Wall, maybe. I kind of like Prowling Pangolin in this deck. It's just a huge beater. Getting it back with Torrent of Souls is kind of sweet. I think we take out Glacial Wall. This deck's a little slow. If we come up against an aggro deck, I'm probably siding back in like Ticking Gnomes, Glacial Wall, maybe putting in some Dragon Eggs. Actually, I do have Carrion Feeder. They're still good with even only one red. I mean, they make a 2/2 flyer. Even if I only have one red mana on the battlefield, making it into a 3/2 flying creature is pretty great. Is that worth putting in over anything? I don't think it is. It makes our mana a lot worse, too. Alright, we'll just go with this. This is a very interesting deck. I would not recommend this one. I think this one's a lot worse than our last one. Our last one was actually really, really good. Once I sat down and thought about that World Gorger Dragon, it wasn't super greedy. That card's just silly. We had so many cool things to go infinite with, like Pilgrim's Eye would just draw all of the cards from all of the lands from our library. We had things like Phyrexian Rager to draw as many cards as we wanted, or Gravedigger to get all the cards out of our graveyard, or Mana Ward, bounce all of our opponent's creatures, because you can just like go infinite, and everything that you have with come into play ability just gives you a bunch of value. We had a bunch of the come into play tap lands that gain you life, so we could gain an infinite life if we wanted. We had a lot of things that were going on for that deck. I think that 2 mountains is what we want. We still have Pilgrim's Eye, but I really want to have Firebolt online. I'll think about that. It's 10 and 5. 5 is really low. I think we can go 9/6. It's possible that we just go 2. I mean, I don't always want Torrent of Souls with red mana, and I can also go for it quite late. It's not a card that I'm going to be using early in our deck. So I could go like 9/7/2 or 10/7/2. I really want the islands early so we can Merfolk Looter, because Merfolk Looter is really important. I think that this is okay. Merfolk Looter draws us to all the other colors of mana. Yeah, this is good. Alright, I will be back for round 1. Okay, so we've got this hand again. We really need an island. I think we keep.